Okay, good morning once again, guys. I'm sorry for the delay in the start of our session. It was technical problems. Okay, so let's pick up from where we left off last time. We looked at liquidity ratios. We said that these are important measures in order to determine if the company is capable of servicing its current obligations, paying its current obligations as they fall due. And we started looking at asset management ratios. Sabi natin, itong mga asset management ratios na to, these are very important because they tell us how the company is able to manage its assets. Okay, we took a look at ITO, which is inventory turnover. Excel. Okay, that's inventory turnover, ITO. It tells us that how many times a year is the company able to buy raw materials, convert to finished products, and then sell. So if we compare our company XYZ with the competitor, sabi natin talong-talo si XYZ, ano? Kasi si competitor 6 times a year niya, no? More than 6 times a year niya nagagawa yung process na yun. So we looked at this last time. ITO 6.1 times si competitor natin. More than 6 times a year, it's able to do this cycle, no? Convert to finished product, buy raw materials, convert to finished product, and sell. While the company is only doing this 3.9 times a year. Okay, sabi natin related dito, 6.1 times is just the same as looking at it from in the number of days, no? 6.1 times is the same as looking at it, how many days is this done? 60 days. So while we have 3.9 times in terms of turnover, in terms of days, 95 days yun. So talong-talo tayo ni competitor kasi sila in 60 days time nabebenta na nila. Tayo 95 days pa. And in terms of ARTO, this is the number of times na from sales collection, 10.2 times. Then tayo 9.3 times lang. In terms of days, ito yun. Days sales outstanding or accounts collection, average collection period. So si competitor, in 15 days time from sales, nako-collect na niya. Tayo, we're able only to collect in within 39 days. So again, talong-talo tayo dito. No? This tells a lot about how the company is performing, how the company is managing its receivables. So it's either palpak yung collection team ng company or hindi maganda yung monitoring system nila, hindi maganda yung collection processes, collection policies as compared to the competitor. Ito naman sa accounts payable turnover, sabi natin the lower the better. No? Kasi ibig sabihin yun, mas lower yung times na nagbabayad tayo per year. Ang implication yan dito no, sa number of days, okay, dito sa DPO, 15.1 times is the same as 90 days. It takes the competitor 90 days to pay its trade payables. Tayo naman 22 times, 22 days. Kasi 17 times tayo. So mas mataas yung up to natin kaysa sa competitor. It means in 22 days time, nagbabayad na tayo. Kasi competitor 90 days. So this is better kasi ibig sabihin nun, mas mataas yung terms na binibigay sa kanya. Okay, so we either look at it from the turnover perspective or the days perspective. Pareho lang yung sinasabi niyan. Okay, then we went to this operating cycle, which is very important. 128, 104, 134, no? Si competitor natin 75 days. Ano ibig sabihin nun? So yung operating cycle is just the sum of your days inventory outstanding and your days sales outstanding. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so si competitor natin, ito yung operating cycle niya, 75, which is the sum of days inventory outstanding and days sales outstanding. So on the average, it takes the company 75 days to buy raw materials, convert to finished product, sell, and then collect. So this is called the cash to cash cycle. From cash to cash. Bakit from cash to cash? Kasi for some of the materials, maybe gagamitan ng cash, and then dito na makokolekta yung cash ulit. From cash to cash, 75 days. So lahat yung nagagawa in 75 days. Okay, samantalang yung company natin, 134 days. So halos doble yung duration, no? Ang tagal, 134 days. While si competitor, nagsa-second ano na siya, okay? Nagsa-second cycle na siya. Tayo, matatapos pa lang tayo. So matatapos yung second cycle niya, katatapos lang natin. So that's the problem we have with the performance of the company. Naglolo ko na naman to. Okay, so 75, 75, 75, 75. Okay, so ilang times a year ginagawa yan? So we can compute for that. No? Operating days divided by 75 days. That will now give us the number of times a year. So it's able to do this. It's able to do the cash to cash cycle in 4.80 for around 4.9 times a year. Tayo, magagawa lang natin yan. So this is operating days divided by yung 134. Okay, that's 134 E123, no? So we're only able to do it 2.7 times a year. 1, 2, and a certain fraction sa isang taon. Sila 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a certain fraction pa 0.87. So you can see here that the competitor really outperforms us. Okay, 4 na beses, 4.87 times sila nagagawa yan. Buy raw materials, convert to finished product, sell, collect. Again, buy raw materials, convert to finished product, sell, collect. 4.87 times. While our company is only doing it at 2.73 times. So, talong-talo tayo guys sa asset management ratio in terms of operating cycle. Okay? So, any questions as far as operating cycle is concerned, guys? Clear ba to? Clear yung operating cycle? Paki-chat nga please kung clear or so far clear ba? Okay, thank you, Gab. How about the rest, guys? I would appreciate your feedback kung clear yung operating cycle. Okay, salamat. Thank you, thank you. My appreciation for that. Okay, thank you. So good. So importante guys yung operating cycle kasi gusto natin malaman ilang araw ba sa isang taon. Ilang araw natin binibiling raw materials, convert to finished product, sell, and then collect. If the competitor is doing it at 75 days, tapos tayo 134 days, nako, patay yan. Yung velocity natin ang bagal. So sabi natin last time, it's important for the company to analyze this. Saan ba nanggagaling yung choke point na yan? Kasi yung hanggang pagbenta natin, 95 days. Talo tayo ni competitor. Pag-collecta natin, almost 40 days. Talo din tayo ni competitor kasi 15 days lang siya. Sa pagbayad, ang bilis natin. Okay? Si competitor hindi. Mas malaki yung terms niya. Diba? So mas maganda yung yung days payable outstanding niya kaysa sa atin. Okay? So overall, tinitingnan natin operating cycle natin from cash to cash, from purchase of raw materials up to collection na ng receivables, talon-talo tayo. Okay, there's another measure which is very important, yung cash conversion cycle. And that's computed by, this is the operating cycle, di ba? Minus the DPO. Take note of this, guys, negative 15 versus 112. Ang tanong, maganda pa itong negative 15? Okay, let me explain the CCC or the cash conversion cycle. Okay, so I have another illustration here. So si competitor guys, CCC niya is negative 15 days. Ano ibig sabihin nun? DIO plus DSO minus DPO. So DIO plus DSO, that's your operating cycle minus your DPO. Okay. Ang operating cycle ni competitor, 75 days. Yan. Ang DPO ni competitor, 90 days. So ano ibig sabihin nito? Nakolekta na ni competitor yung pera, 75 days. Tapos sa 90th day pa niya babayaran si supplier. So that means guys, yung negative na cash conversion cycle, in this case negative 15, meron pa tayong extra days bago natin bayaran si supplier to use the funds. Na di ba dito sa 75th day na to makokolekta na natin receivables. So hindi pa tayo magbabayad sa payables natin, meron pa tayong extra na 15 days. So a negative cash conversion cycle is in fact a good number kasi meron pa tayong number of days para gamitin yung funds na yan na kolekta natin as receivables. Pwede natin i-park yan for a short-term investment. For example, 30-day, depende dun sa cash conversion cycle natin. No? Okay, so a negative number means that meron pa tayong excess number of days para magamit natin yung funds na nakolekta natin from our receivables to use it for other activities bago natin babayaran si supplier. Okay? So in effect, yung negative 15 na yan, ibig sabihin, meron tayong excess days na 15 days. Ano naman yung cash conversion cycle ng company natin sa XYZ? Okay? Again, ang operating cycle natin 134, no? 134. So dito pa natin makukolekta yung receivables natin. Kailan tayo magbabayad? 22 days, day 22, babayaran yung supplier. Okay, asan na yung pera? Meron na ba tayong pera technically nung 22nd day? Wala pa. Kasi makukolect pa natin sa 134 days. So ergo, guys, yung cash conversion cycle is 134 minus 22, which is 112. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Dito, kailangan mangutang tayo. No? Mangungutang tayo dito para pambayad sa payables natin. Okay? Kasi di ba dito pa natin makukolekta yung receivables. No? Okay, tapos pag nangutang tayo dito, makakabayad tayo after 112 days. Okay, nangutang tayo dito, may interest tong 112 days na to. So yung cash conversion cycle, guys, tells us how many days, how long will it take for us to have to finance the payable natin. 112 days. Interest yan, may interest yan. So di ba sa interest, the longer the number of days, the higher will be the interest. Okay? So the cash conversion cycle, the bigger the cash conversion cycle is, the longer is the number of days na ipapa-finance natin, ibig sabihin, the higher will be the interest on that. So a very long cash conversion cycle is not good. Kasi ang sinasabi niyan, hindi tayo nakakakolekta way ahead para mabayaran yung payables natin. Or, corollarily, masyado maaga yung pag binibigay sa atin na time sa payables natin na hindi nagmamatch siya dun sa collection period natin. Either way, guys, problematic tayo sa cash conversion cycle natin. Imagine 112 days tayo, si competitor enjoying 15 days ng negative cash conversion cycle. Ibig sabihin, may 15 days pa siya na pwedeng ipagamit sa iba yung funds, yung cash. No? Okay, so that's the problem, guys, with this company, yung cash conversion cycle niya, 112 days. Bumaba ng 2019 pero tumaas pa rin ng 2020. So again, guys, ito holistically, anong sinasabi nito? Kailangan tingnan yung speed ng inventory turnover, pati yung R2, pati yung APTO. Kasi holistically, guys, it will take us 112 days in order to pay to finance the borrowing natin para bayaran yung payable natin. Samantalang si competitor natin in 15 meron pa siyang excess na 15 days. Okay? So, all right. But this should be taken with a caveat, guys. So, ano mas maganda? Negative 15 days na cash conversion cycle o negative 180 days? Paki-chat nga, guys. Negative 15 o negative 180 days na cash conversion cycle. Can you please chat, guys, kung ano mas maganda? Which is better? Negative 15 or negative? Okay, yeah. Oh, bakit? Sandali ha. John, bakit negative 180?
Mas mahaba po yung pwedeng paggamitan ng cash.
Yeah, exactly, di ba? Ibig sabihin ng negative 180, in 180 days pa muna natin bago bayaran yung trade payables natin. Di ba? Right? So technically, guys, theoretically, the longer the cash conversion cycle, the better it is for the company. Mas maganda kung mas malaking negative yung And of course, the higher positive the cash conversion cycle, the poorer it is. Kasi ibig sabihin, papa-finance pa natin, ibig sabihin, malayo pa yung collection natin dun sa sa pagbayad, no? ng payables natin. Okay, by the way guys, ang gagawin ko na lang kasi medyo very quick na yung discussion natin dito, no? I'm also going to post the recording I had with the other section. So pwede nyo tingnan yung first few parts kasi medyo review ko muna yung ibang parts dito, no? But konti lang naman. So, but I'll post both of this, yung sa section natin at saka yung sa section E, yung na unang class ko kanina. Okay, so now, may caveat dito guys, may warning tayo. Yung negative 180 days kanina. That might seem good, guys, from the perspective of the company kasi it means that may 180 days pa siya para gamitin yung fund. Nakukolekta na niya kagad, receivables, babayaran na niya si supplier after 180 days. Okay, may isang company guys, hulaan nyo nga, may isang company dito sa Pilipinas na ganun yung practice niya. Ang tagal niyang bayaran yung suppliers. If you want to do business with us, then dapat willing ka na mababayaran ka 4 months, 5 months, maybe 6 months even. I have a friend who used to do business with them. Kaso kailangan mahaba yung PC natin guys. Pag ganun, yung cash natin, kailangan mahaba. Kasi kung hindi guys, you cannot survive. Of course, maganda kung may business ka sa kanila kasi yung pag-patronize mga customers dun, marami. So, would you know what company is that, guys? Anong company yung ang laki negative ng cash conversion cycle nila? Any guess, guys? Yeah, thank you, Elijah. You're correct, no? You're correct. Si SM, tama 'yon. SM, di ba? Hindi naman si SM talaga merchandising, hindi naman retail yan. Ang main business nila is real estate. Pinapalis nila yung sa mga parts, sa mga Tapos yung mga cashier niyan, taga SM. So ang nagko-collect niyan, SM, yung mga sales. Tapos binibigay yan sa kasi may portion din yung may share dun si SM. Then it is given to the company after some time. So unless na mahaba yung PC mo, hindi ka makaka-collect ng Ibig sabihin yung cash conversion cycle ni SM, negative, malaking negative. So i-assume na lang natin na negative 180 yan. Ang downside niyan guys, ang downside niyan, your suppliers will be hard put with that kind of a situation. Kaya, well, ang advantage nila, of course, yung foot traffic ng mga pumupunta sa SM, malaki kaysa sa ibang places. Pero ang downside naman yan, ito na yung tinatawag natin na yung philosophy of doing business, yung pull system versus push system. Pull system, bahala ka. I couldn't much care kung mag-fold up ka, hindi. Basta ako, cash conversion cycle ko, mahaba. Okay? Samantalang, pwedeng mahihirapan na yung mga suppliers. So, this is another, this will double into the philosophy of business. Pati ethics. Yung ethics, so okay lang ba na masyadong mahirapan yung suppliers for as long as mag-benefit yung company natin? So maybe that's a fine line, no? Kasi my friend who used to do business with, doon nga, nag-release siya sa SM. Nung lumipat siya sa Robinson, sabi niya mas relaxed yung terms. So mas hindi sila tight sa cash flow. Okay, so these are two different business models. Interesting. Dun sa way yung business models ng dalawang big leasing companies na to, no? But ang point ko lang dito guys, a very big negative cash conversion cycle might look very good, no? Might look very good for the company, pero okay, on the one side, no, yung kung talagang push system yung ginagamit natin na philosophy sa business. Push system ibig sabihin, we profit and you profit with us. Sabay tayo. In other words, tulungan tayo. We support each other. Okay, so that's something we later on pag nagsarili na kayo establish ang business nyo. So these are two different ways in conducting business, either yung push system or your pull system. Okay? And sabi nga natin that is where Toyota was a champion of yung pull system nila. Yung pull system. Baligtad guys. Pull system, ibig sabihin, hinahatak ni Toyota yung mga suppliers niya. So that they, as a group, no? As a community of businesses, they profit together. They share in the profit together. Okay, so clear guys yung cash conversion cycle. Clear ba? Paki-chat naman please kung clear. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your feedback, no? Yung iba, Gab, thank you. Any feedback from the rest? Okay. Dalawa lang ng feedback. I'm waiting for the others' comments. Okay, salamat. Salamat. Thank you. Okay, so guys, tandaan natin na the lower the operating cycle, the better. Okay? Ibig sabihin, mas mabilis yung velocity. Okay? Si direct competitor, 4.87 times siya na gagawa itong operating cycle na to. While our company, 2.7 times lang. So di hamak na mas mabilis yung turnaround ni competitor. And pag mas mabilis yun guys, mas mabilis yung pasok ng pera, mas mabilis yung pag-generate ng mag-i-invest pa sa net working capital, mas mabilis yun. Okay, and again guys, yung cash conversion cycle natin, it's a number of days na kailangan pa natin i-finance bago natin mabayaran yung payables natin. So a negative cash conversion cycle means magagamit pa natin yung funds, no? But again, pag masyadong mahaba na yan, ibig sabihin baka masyado natin tinitikis yung suppliers, okay? Which could be bad kasi remember that a company does not operate in a vacuum. Okay, may mga yung stakeholder theory nga, di ba? So mas maganda kung tinitinan din yung condition ng stakeholders natin, and one of these stakeholders is the supplier. All right, then we have two others guys, yung FATO at saka yung TATO. Now, sorry, nagkamali ako sa formula dito because ang nalagay ko dito yung this is ROA, no? This is ito ROA ito hindi. So, yung turnover guys, okay, ang kapartner natin diyan, net income after sales, Sales over average fixed assets and sales over average total assets. Now you notice guys that place here, average fixed assets. The rule is that kapag income statement yung yung isang account na measure, tapos yung isa balance sheet, mas magandang ina-average natin yan. Okay? Sales is income statement, average fixed assets is balance sheet, so mas magandang ina-average natin si balance sheet. Alright? So pakibago na lang guys yung formula. So you should have here 9.95 kasi ang formula nito is sales over the average of your fixed assets, beginning and ending. Okay, ito naman, sales over average ng total assets. Okay, I said guys, sana na-compute nito, no? Medyo, sorry, pakibago na lang, pakigawa na lang sales over fixed assets. So what does this tell us? Ibig sabihin nun guys, for every 1 peso of fixed assets na in-invest ng company, the management was able to generate 9.95, which is good, no? 9.95 sales for every peso of fixed assets. It went down to 9.08 in 2019 and went down further into 2020. However, the company still performs better than its competitor. 7.92 tayo to 7. Kaso dapat tingnan kung bakit bumababa yung FATO natin. Yung TATO naman natin, guys, total assets, okay? In terms of total assets, guys, the competitor beat us. Pero in terms of fixed assets, the competitor, we outperformed the competitor. Ibig sabihin lang yan, guys, kasi sa fixed assets okay tayo, pero dun sa current assets, dun tayo medyo talo, no? Dehado tayo dun sa, tingnan naman natin dito, di ba? Ito yung asset management natin. Yung mga current assets natin, palpak tayo dito. Pero in terms of fixed assets, the use of the fixed assets, okay naman tayo. Pero overall, guys, overall, talo tayo. Kasi sa total assets, andyan dyan yung current assets natin. Okay? So that's what total TATO means. Ibig sabihin, for every peso of total asset, nakakapag-generate tayo ng 2.20 na sales. But we're lagging behind our direct competitor kasi sila 2.5 sa bawat piso ng total assets. Okay? Now we go to any questions, guys, dito sa asset management ratios? No? Ito mga ratios na ito, very important ratios to. No? Okay, itong asset management ratios natin. Okay, clear so far, guys, yung mga asset management ratios natin. Clear ba? And the chat, please. Okay, thank you. Anyone else, guys? DIO. Sige, thank you, Jillian. Days inventory outstanding. Ito, DIO. Okay, sabi natin, si DIO, kapatid ni ano yan, ni ITO, inventory turnover. Yung ITO, ilang beses daw sa isang taon na nagagawa natin yung proseso na bumibili tayo ng raw materials, kino-convert sa finished product, and then binibenta. 4 times. Well, 3.9 times in 2020. Samantalang yung competitor natin 6.1 times. So if we convert this into number of days, no? Ilang araw yan na bibili tayo ng raw materials, convert to finished goods, sell. Yung 3.9 times yan, it's equivalent to 95 days. Okay, yung ITO, number of times lang, yung days, ilang araw yun. So they're the same. They measure the same thing, only we're looking at it at different perspectives. So 95 days, ibig sabihin, on the average, it takes the company 95 days to buy raw materials, convert to finished goods, sell. 95 days yun. Si competitor, 60 days. Okay, so talo tayo ni competitor kasi within 60 days, nabenta na nila yung finished product nila. Okay, did that answer your question, Jillian? Okay. Any other questions, guys? Dun sa asset management ratios? Okay. If none, punta na tayo, guys, sa remaining ratios natin. Debt ratio. Ano naman yung debt ratio natin? Okay, debt ratio, guys, itong tatlong ratios na to dito, ang kinocompute natin dito yung how capable is the company in paying off its obligations. Okay, so una, debt ratio, which is just your total liabilities over total assets. Sabi natin kasi yung debt, yung utang, it's a two-edged sword, no? Two-edged sword yan kasi it gives both pluses and minuses. Ang plus niya, di ba, makakautang tayo para ma-finance yung project na feasible, tas wala po tayong sufficient funds for that. So pwede tayong umutang. Ang downside niya, it incurs interest, no? May interest expense yan. Pero yung interest expense, double-edged sword din yan, di ba? Kasi si interest expense, okay, when carried to, pag yung tama lang yung ano natin, optimal yung capital structure natin, okay, interest expense kasi it's tax deductible. No? Bumababa yung taxes natin. Pero pag masyado namang extreme, masyado nang malaki yung utang natin, okay, there's that risk, no? Yung interest rate risk or yung solvency risk. Baka mabankrupt tayo kasi baka hindi natin mabayaran na. Baka hindi na ma-service yung interest payments. No? So that's something that management has to look into. Noong 2019, medyo tumaas yung ano natin, no? Yung debt ratio. Kasi anong nangyari dyan, kung titignan natin long-term debt, you know, long-term debt natin, guys, if you take a look at this, from 323, naging 1 million. So umutang ng malaki, no? Umutang ng malaki yung company to finance its projects. Kaya naging 80.7 yung ano natin, yung ratio, yung ano, bumaba siya noong 2020 kasi nagbayad din ng long-term debt. No? From 1 million naging 500,000. Nagbayad din siya ng nag-principal payment siya. Okay, kaya so where am I here? 43.8. So ito, we can only say that the competitor has a 50% debt ratio. Tayo 43.8. Now, di natin masasabi na mas magaling si company natin compared to competitor kasi nga 'di ba, yung debt ratio niyan it depends on how it's able to optimize its shareholder value. So we can only say that mas leverage si competitor in 2020 compared to our company. Dito medyo hindi natin masasabi na mas magaling si competitor, no? Okay, yung tayo naman guys times interest earned. Yung formula niyan is EBIT divided by interest. So kunyari, ano ibig sabihin ng 6.2? Sa bawat piso na interest expense, meron si competitor na operating profit. EBIT is operating profit, di ba? May operating profit siya na 6.2 pesos. So well covered siya. Tayo naman, nung 2018, 3.35, bumaba tayo dito, no? Bumaba tayo dito kasi bumaba yung EBIT ng 2019. Pero naka-recover tayo dito sa 2020. So we can say guys that in 2020 mas capable pa si XYZ, yung company natin, to service its interest expense as compared to our competitor. Pero hindi masyadong nagkakalayo. 6.28 versus 6.2. Okay, yun ang ibig sabihin ng yun ang ibig sabihin ng times interest earned. Okay? The higher the interest earned, ibig sabihin, the more capable is the company in servicing its interest expense requirements. Okay? So dito, just to take a look at 2019, di ba ano nangyari dito? Tingnan natin dito sa 2019, okay? Ang EBIT natin is 17,400 lang, no? Okay? EBIT natin 7,440. Interest expense natin 176. So talagang kulang na kulang yung EBIT natin to pay for our interest expense. Okay, and that was because yung natin, ang laki ng jump ng operating cost natin. As compared to 2018 na ang EBIT natin 209, interest expense 62. So dito tumaas yung interest expense kasi because of the borrowing. Okay? Dito naman guys, maganda yung operating performance natin, yung EBIT natin is highest compared to the other years. Tapos yung interest expense natin, mas lumiit na kasi nag-service tayo ng principal, di ba? Nagbayad tayo ng principal at this time. So lumiit na yung base ng ng interest natin. Okay, so that's why you have here the TI times interest earned. Okay? Itong times interest earned natin dito, yan, 6.28. Okay, sandali, ba't napasama ito dito? Okay, next, yung last natin na debt ratio is EBITDA coverage. May linagilawang notes dito, pakibasa na lang. So EBITDA coverage, ito yung formula niya, no? EBITDA plus lease, kung may lease man, okay, divided by, ang denominator natin, interest plus principal plus lease. So let's forget the lease kasi wala naman lease tong company. So ito ang sinasabi sa atin dito, no? Kasi di ba depreciation and amortization is really not cash, no? So pag sinama natin siya, this will really be your net cash flow. Okay, so how capable is the company in paying its interest and principal payments, no? Based on the net cash flow, yung EBITDA. Okay, so the higher the EBITDA coverage, the better, of course, for the company. Okay, so tingnan natin dito. Okay, so ang formula nito is sum of the EBIT and then i-add natin yung depreciation and amortization divided by sum ng, okay, so dapat interest plus principal. So let's take a look at 2018. Si 2018 natin, titignan natin guys yung long-term debt natin. Okay. So i-compare natin yung 2018 natin, i-compare natin sa 2017. So since wala tayong 2017 guys, hindi natin masasabi kung merong principal payments, no? So kaya ang naging formula lang natin naka-base lang sa interest divided by the interest. Ito lang. Wala tayong principal kasi hindi natin alam kasi wala tayong 2017. Okay? Nung dumating nung 2019, ano nangyari? Tumaas yung long-term debt pa nga. Tumaas pa, 323 to 1 million. So wala tayong principal na binayaran. No? So hindi pa rin papasok dito yung principal. Now, pagdating ng 2020, yung long-term debt natin, 500 from 1 million. Ibig sabihin guys, nagbayad ng principal dito. So sa 2020, papasok yung principal. Yung interest, okay, interest ito, plus principal. Ano yung principal payment dito? 1 million minus 500,000. Okay? Ulitin ko guys ha. Kung kailan guys nagbayad ng principal, doon papasok yung interest plus principal. Noong 2019, okay, compared to the previous 323, ito naging 1 million. Hindi nagbayad ng ang assumption natin dito, hindi nadagdagan pa nga yung principal hindi nabawasan. So walang papasok dun sa formula natin sa EBITDA coverage ng plus principal. Papasok yung plus principal dito guys sa 2020 kasi yung principal nabawasan. So ibig sabihin nag-service tayo dito ng principal, nagbayad tayo. Magkano? From 1 million to 500,000, ibig sabihin nagbayad tayo ng 500,000. Okay, kasi bumaba yung natin, yung long-term debt natin. So yung EBITDA coverage now, okay, let me go back here. EBITDA coverage, okay. So ito, ano pa lang din to, sum ng D11 or D11 lang. Ito yung natin, yung long-term debt. Pagdating dito guys, yun yun. Okay. Sorry, hindi long-term debt yung kanina. Ulit. Back. Ito guys, this is just the interest expense. Walang principal na pinasok. Pagdating dito, since bumaba yung principal, ibig sabihin nagbayad tayo ng principal, okay? By how much? D32 minus E32. Okay, so that's 500,000. So it's the interest expense plus yung principal natin, yung sinervice sa principal, yung binayaran ng principal. Okay? All right. So that's why nagkaroon tayo dito ng sum ng interest expense at saka ng principal. Kung bumaba yung principal guys, doon natin sinasama. Yung sa 2019 hindi kasi tumaas pa nga yung principal niyan. Okay, so enter 1.07. Ibig sabihin yan guys, for every peso of interest and principal payments, meron tayong 1.07 pesos ng EBITDA para bayaran yung nagjuju na interest at saka ng principal. Okay, and we pay in comparison to our sa natin, sa competitor. Sila 8, no? 8 yung EBITDA coverage nila. So ibig sabihin they have sufficient EBITDA, okay? They have sufficient net cash flow to pay their interest and principal requirements. Okay? Any questions, guys, about the EBITDA coverage? Okay, so ipa-flash ko ulit yung yung dito hindi sumama yung hindi kasama yung principal kasi hindi naman natin alam kung nag-increase yung principal o hindi. Dito hindi kasama yung principal kasi yung principal jump from 323 to 1 million. Tumaas pa nga Dito kasama yung principal kasi dito bumaba yung principal guys. Ibig sabihin nagbayad tayo ng principal. Okay. And 1.07, tamang-tama lang, no? Nabayaran yung interest at saka principal based on the EBITDA. While the competitor has times 8 nila, no? Yung capability nila to pay their interest and principal requirements. Okay, any questions, guys? Okay, chat nga kung clear so far. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. Punta tayo sa profitability ratios. Dito medyo ano natin siya okay. Ano ko into two, no? I-classify ko lang into two. Okay. So profitability ratios. EBIT over sales, net income after tax over sales. So these are very easy to compute. Operating profit divided by sales. Ibig sabihin dito, for every 1 peso of sales, ang operating profit natin 7 centavos. So it pales in comparison with our direct competitor kasi si direct competitor sa bawat piso ng binenta niya, 9 centavos yung kita niya. Ang operating profit. Ang kita niya 6 centavos. Tayo 4 centavos lang. That's the net income after tax. Yung bottom line na. Okay, then we notice that 2019 talaga halos zero na, no? Halos operating profit ng zero. That's why yung profit margin natin dito negative na. Ibig sabihin net income nito is negative divided by sales. So sa bawat piso ng sales, naglo-lose tayo ng 2 centavos. Noong 2019 yun. Okay? So 2020, nag-recover 0.04. However, talo pa rin siya to the competitor at 6 centavos per peso of sales. Okay. Okay, ano naman yung basic earning power, guys? Tingnan niyo yung yung formula. Pakibago na lang, guys, kasi hindi ko yata nalagay yung average. Kasi again, EBIT is an income statement account. So period yan for the whole period. Tapos yung TA natin, kung ilagay lang natin total assets, then medyo hindi magandang comparison, no? Kasi period versus point in time na measure. So mas maganda kahit papaano i-average natin yung beginning at saka ending. So the formula here is okay. So C10, which is our sales, divided by the average of B25 and C25. Okay? So kinapi lang natin to the right hand. So what does this tell us, guys? Yung 0.80 na to, ibig sabihin nito na per peso of total assets na or in-invest ng company, si competitor kumikita ng operating profit ng 18. No? 18 centavos. Okay? Ng operating margin. Samantalang yung company natin, 16 centavos. So talo tayo dito, di ba? However, there was an improvement in as far as the performance of our company. From 0.14, naging 0.1, 0.01, and then 0.16. So compared to the other years, 2020 generated the best in terms of operating margin, no, over total assets. And that's called your basic earning power. Okay? Yung pangalawa naman, ROA, guys. What's ROA? ROA is return on assets. No? So ito, ang formula natin, net income after tax divided by average total assets. Okay, so dito pinipeg natin sa net income after tax. So expectedly, guys, noong 2019, negative tayo dyan kasi negative yung income tax natin. Negative yung net income natin. So sa bawat piso ng total asset na ini-invest ng company, dito nalulugi tayo ng 4 centavos. Noong 2019, kumikita tayo ng 6 centavos. Nag-improve to ng around 8 centavos noong 2020. But we still pale in comparison to our competitor company. Sila 9 centavos, no? Yung basic, yung ROA pala nila, yung return on asset. Return on equity naman, guys, equity ngayon yung denominator natin. Average total equity lang. Okay? So the formula is net income, C14 divided by average ng total equity. Okay? All right. So since 2019, guys, lahat ng total asset niyan, lahat ng net income after tax yan, negative. Kaya pag gagamitin natin si NI80, negative yan kasi net loss siya. Okay. So ibig sabihin nito, return on equity niya sa bawat piso na equity na in-invest ng mga shareholders, okay, nalulugi yung company in terms of profit ng 15 or 16 centavos. And then naka-recover sila ng 2020, 20 centavos per peso of average of equity. In fact, in-outperform nila. Si competitor company nakaka-generate lang ng profit na 18 centavos per peso of equity, while si company natin 20 centavos. Okay, so how about this one, guys? Earnings per share. Well, as the name suggests, guys, earnings is your net income after tax. And the number of shares, kinukuha natin dyan yung average number of shares. So hindi natin pwede magawa yung earnings per share ng 2018 kasi wala tayong hindi binigay yung number of shares ng 2018. But if it was given, pwede natin ma-compute, no? So balik tayo sa EPS, earnings per share. Okay, this one. So it's net income divided by the average of the number of shares. Given naman yung number of shares natin sa row 40. Okay, of course, it's a negative one kasi negative yung net income natin. Ito, 1.45. So earnings per share natin dito sa bawat, ibig sabihin, sa bawat isang share, no? Bawat isang share kumikita ng 1.45. Pero mas malaki yung earnings per share ng ng competitor. Sa kanila, sa bawat isang share, guys, isang share kumikita ng 1.85. So each share earns 1.85 in terms of net income. Samantalang yung sa atin 1.45. Okay. All right. Then, meron tayong dalawang dito, profitability ratio na quite special. Okay, so ibahin ko lang yung kulay nito. Ito yung tinatawag natin na price multiples. Okay, I'm going to share with you ito sa sa chat. Paki-copy na lang, guys. Control C. Chat. You may read on this. Okay, so this is from Investopedia. Let me see if I can flash it. Okay, so Investopedia. Okay, while it's loading, bagal talaga yung internet ko ngayon. Ano ba ginagamit yung Converge? Kasi sabi nila, sa Manila daw, mas maganda daw yung dito eh. Mas mabilis. Ano ba experience niya? Anyone using dito? Mas mabilis nga ba siya? Okay, so yung price multiples, guys. Okay, ito na naman, naglolo ko na naman siya. Price multiples, itong dalawang to. Price earnings ratio. Another way they call that is per, no? Per PER. Okay, ito naman, price to cash flow ratio. So what does this tell us? Okay, let's take a look at per first. So ang formula nito, guys, is price per share divided by the earnings per share. So since may earnings per share na tayo dito, pwede natin magamit ito. And price per share natin, ito yung 6 pesos, nasa D39, divided by negative 0.95. Okay, yung per, guys, it only makes sense kung positive. No? Kung positive yung earnings per share. If it's a negative, guys, then we do not interpret it actually kasi it makes no sense eh. Kasi price ang pinag-uusapan dito. So hindi naman pwede magka-price ang stock na 6. Okay, so anyway, I just computed it here, in 6.31, but we cannot interpret this because this is negative. Pero dito, guys, anong ibig sabihin nito? So the price of the stock is ito, di ba? I think 12. Yan, 12.17. Divided by the EPS, of 1.45. Okay, ano ibig sabihin yan? Ang ibig sabihin yan, guys, sa bawat piso ng earnings per share, ang value ng stock na yan is 8.4. So what does that mean? Okay, we cannot just interpret that in a nutshell, in a vacuum. So dapat kino-compare yan years before. Okay, sa years before. Hindi lang natin pwede ma-compare dito kasi negative to. No? Pero pwede natin i-compare dito yan sa competitor. Ang ibig sabihin nito, guys, mas mahal yung sa competitor natin. Mas mahal siya. Kasi ibig sabihin nito, you're willing to buy, you're willing to have a stock that earns 1.85 per share, and then dapat, hindi, sorry, 9.5 over 1 yan. No? Okay, wait. 9.5 over 1. Yan ang formula na yan. Oops, hindi, sorry. Wala tayong price ng competitor. Anyway, ibig sabihin nito, 9.5 over 1. So sa bawat piso na earnings per share, okay, ang market value ng 9.5. So you should be willing to buy, if you're a would-be investor, dapat willing ka na bilhin to at 9.5 and you'll just get 1 peso EPS. Ito naman 8.4, okay, mas mura siya relative to our competitor, no? Mas mura siya. Let's suppose, guys, ang ano nito, kunyari ng 2018, let's say 7 lang siya. So ibig sabihin, nagmahal yung stock natin. Kasi nung 2018, at 7, ibig sabihin ng 7 na per piece, sa bawat piso ng earnings per share, you should buy it at 7 pesos. So mas mura nung 2018 kaysa ngayon at 2020. Example lang yung 7, guys. No? Example lang yun. So the higher the per, ibig sabihin, the more expensive it is. Okay, pag sinabi kong higher, may pinagkukumparahan tayo, no? So we have a benchmark. Ang benchmark natin yung previous years or yung direct competitor natin. So dito, guys, 8.4 over 9.5, mas mahal yung sa competitor natin. Yung ano nila, yung price nila. Kasi para kumita ka ng 1 peso na EPS, okay, kailangan bilhin mo yung stock at 9.5. Ito naman, para kumita ka ng 1 peso na EPS, okay, kailangan bilhin mo yung stock at 8.4. Alright? So yun yung per, guys, no? They're what we call the price multiples. Maraming klaseng price multiples. Kaya sa tinatawag na price multiples kasi kino-compare natin, kunyari yung dito, yung EPS dun sa presyo niya. Okay, so ito ibig sabihin ng 8.4. 8.4 times mas mahal yung price niya kaysa dun sa EPS. Okay, ito naman yung cash flow, guys. Kailangan natin dito yung operating cash flow. Now, I won't show it again, pero di ba last time we computed for the operating cash flow ng 2020, 170 yon, 536 negative. Ibig sabihin cash flow was used by operations. Now, since this is negative, guys, this will not make sense also. Pero papakita ko lang yung formula. So this is yung price niya, kasi price yung numerator, divided by operating cash flow per share. So, yung operating cash flow natin ng 2020 is 170 divided by the number of shares. Ito yun. Okay? So, yung operating cash flow divided by the number of shares, which is 250, to get the operating cash flow per share. Okay? So, operating cash flow per share to. Kung positive sana to, guys, kung positive tong net income natin, pwede natin i-interpret to. Okay? Assume natin na negative, na positive to, guys. But realistically, really, guys, it's a negative, so hindi natin pwedeng interpret yan. Let's just assume that this is positive. Ibig sabihin yan, guys, okay, mahal yung stock natin. Kasi para kumita ka ng operating cash flow na piso per share, no? Ang market value niya 17.84. So if you're going to invest in that, kikita ka ng piso na operating cash flow, okay? Pero bibili mo siya at 17.84. So ito, guys, 7.6 yung competitor natin. Okay. Ang nangyayari talaga nito guys, yung price kasi sa market to eh. Yung price na to, nakuha natin sa stock market ito. Yung 6 at saka 12.17. What really happens is that the company computes for the intrinsic value of the stock. Ibig sabihin, gagawa sila, magmo-model sila, kukumputin nila yung based on the financial statements, magkano ba talaga yung value ng stock? Okay? So, sa market, lumalabas yung stock 12.17. So, let's suppose na kinumpute ng company, no? Kinumpute ng company, tapos, the time na, ang bilis. Ang lumalabas, ang talagang intrinsic na value ng stock is 11. Okay? Yung talagang value ng stock based on the computation is 11 pesos per share. Pero sa market, 12.17. So, ibig sabihin yan, guys, undervalued o overvalued yung stock natin? Paki-chat nga, please. Is it, wait may question dito. Simon, John, sino ba to? Benj, paki-share yung question mo sa lahat. Why is it nag-differ po yung 2020 computed EPS given 2020 EPS? Anong cell yun, Benj? What cell are you referring to? EPS, sandali ha. Are you referring to this cell? Ito? Benj, paki-unmute na lang ha para mas mabilis tayo.
Sir, yung
E40?
below po ng 250,000 shares po, yung naka-hide po.
Sandali ha. Below ng 250.
Yes
This
po.
one?
Meron po kasi dyan, sir, yung nakalagay. And then, yun po yung ginamit ko po.
Wait ha, sandali. Yan, hide ko lang. 1.01. 1.01 dito. So, na-compute natin dito is, okay. EPS natin dito, sorry EPS here is, okay, 1.45. Okay, the difference guys here is, mas tama itong ginawa natin dito yung ngayon, no? Mas tama ito kasi, yung EPS natin dito, ang ginawa lang natin, okay, I'm sorry about this, no? Dito, ang ginawa lang natin is, stock price, net income after tax. So, yung net income after tax natin. Net income after tax divided by, okay, number of shares. Yan. So, 1.01. Okay? So, apologies for this guys, pero sabi natin, pag nagko-compute tayo na may kasamang income statement, account, at saka balance sheet, dapat, ang mas tama niyan, dapat kinukuha natin yung average. No? So, dapat dito, it should be the net income after tax, which is this one, divided by the average dapat. No? The average of your shares. Yeah. Okay, this is the more correct one. Kaya 1.45 siya. Okay, thank you Benj for pointing that out. Okay, nakalimutan ko kasi naka-hide na pala no. Naka-hide na to so hindi ko na nakita ulit to no. Okay? So that's why we have you're correct. Nagdi-differ na ngayon yung ano natin no kasi dito ang ginamit natin yung shares lang na 250. When in fact dapat average dapat ng beginning at saka ending. So this is the more correct way guys to compute for your EPS. Ito yung gamitin natin guys yung 1.45 na to. Okay, Benj, did that answer your question? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Benj. That's a very good question. I really appreciate that. No? Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, so ito guys, yung price to cash flow ratio natin noong 2019, kailangan computein natin yung cash flow natin. So I'm just showing this kasi ipapadala ko sa inyo itong file na to, no? Itong ginawa natin ngayon. So ito, para alam nyo lang, yung sheet 1 ito, kinumpute ko yung cash flow noong 2019. Okay, so I'm sure you'll be able to follow this. Ito yung net income. Ito yung net income. Okay, kinapi ko to. Depreciation. Tapos ito yung ini-investigate natin, a decrease in cash. Okay, then yung papasok sa operating is your AR, inventories, accounts payable, accruals. Pag inad natin lahat yan, ito na yung sa ano natin. Ito yung sa operating, guys. Ito yung operating cash flow natin, which I used here. Ayan o. In 2018. 2019. Operating cash flow, 503. Nanggaling dito yan, guys. Okay, I'm sure you can compute for that. Tapos, dinivide natin ng number of shares, which is yung 100,000. Okay, that's why I got this. I was able to get the price per cash flow noong 2020. Okay, so you can follow this, guys. No? So noong 2020, guys, assuming this is positive, okay, mas mura, guys, yung ano natin, yung mas undervalued yung ano natin relative to 2020 kasi ito ang mahal eh. 17.84 dito, 1.19 lang. Okay. Back to my question a while ago, sorry na ano ko dito, no. Kunyari, guys, kinumpute natin yung yung intrinsic value ng stock natin. Ibig sabihin lang, guys, nag-compute natin yung value ng stock natin, ang lumalabas 11. Pero sa market, it's selling at 12.17. Then that means undervalued yung ano natin. Okay? Overvalued or undervalued? Overvalued, guys. Kasi sa market, it's 12.17. Ang intrinsic, yung value lang talaga niya, quote-unquote, is 11. So overvalued yung stock price natin sa market. Okay. Okay. Dali ah. And then, guys, yung last two na to, well, formulas lang to, no? Ibig sabihin lang dito na yung equity value is just 1 peso per share. 1 peso per share yung ano natin, yung equity. Nung 2020 naman, yung value ng equity is 1 pesos per share. 5.6 pesos per share, 11.3. Ito, the higher the value, guys, the better. Okay, pero ito compared to the competitor, mas okay yung sa competitor, no? Kasi yung value ng equity niya is 13.6 per share. Then ito kino-compare lang, guys, yung market value to book value. So market value is just your ano yung D39. Okay. What's D39, guys? This is your okay, that's your market price, $6 pesos divided by your book value 1.6. So kinompare lang natin yung market value to book value. The higher, of course, the better. Kasi ibig sabihin, mas yung ano sa market, guys, mas mataas yung appraisal sa market compared to the book value. Okay, guys, I have this last two. May I have 2 minutes extension, guys? Okay lang ba? May I ask your permission? If okay lang, guys. 12:30 na. I'm sorry na hindi tayo nakapag-start on time kanina because of the technical glitch. Okay lang ba, guys? 2 minutes? 2 to 3 minutes? Para matapos ko lang to. Do I have your permission, guys? Okay. Thank you. Yung iba, guys. Okay, salamat. Salamat, guys. Thank you for your patience. No? Kasi quiz natin sa Wednesday, guys. And it will cover modules 1 and 2. Lahat na na-cover natin. So ang quiz natin will be multiple choice. May problem solving. Magko-compute kayo. Okay, so please review and please prepare. Okay, ito, guys, yung DuPont. Dati kasi, ang talagang mini-measure yung ROE, return on equity. Pero sabi nga natin ngayon, mas may magagandang measures na like ROIC. Ang ROE kasi, net income after tax divided by total equity. No? So ang gagawin natin dyan, we multiply it by sales over sales and total assets over total assets. Okay, so hindi naman magbabago yung value ng ROE natin. I-repositioning lang natin yung mga multiply natin. So si sales linagay natin dito, okay? So this becomes profit margin, this became TATO, this becomes the financial leverage multiplier. Ibig sabihin niyan, guys, ROE can be broken down into these 3 measures. Okay? So how do we improve ROE? By improving PM, the profit margin, by improving TATO, and by improving the financial leverage multiplier. So andito lang yan guys, no? So PM natin, nasa taas na yan, na-compute na natin yan. Profit margin. So si TATO, na-compute na rin natin yan. Nasa taas, no? Si equity multiplier, this is just your total assets over your total liabilities. Okay? So ang sinasabi ng DuPont formula, in order to improve return on equity, kailangan improve natin yung profit margin, improve yung TATO, improve yung equity multiplier. So pag kinumpute natin yan guys, tapos ito, just get the product of these three items, yung product niyan, you'll get ROE, which is just the same. Parehong-pareho lang yan. Dito nagkaiba lang kasi ano ba yung nangyari dito? Sorry Okay. D134, return on equity, sandali. Okay, ano yung ano ko dito? This should be 15.6. Okay. May nagkaroon discrepancy dito guys. Let me check this first and then yung ipapadala ko sa inyo guys yung ano yung what I'll be sending you is the corrected one. May discrepancy lang ako dito. But it should be the same guys. They should be the same. Dapat dapat pareho lang yan. All right? And lastly guys, ito na lang. You can predict, if a company will become bankrupt. So sa ipapadala ko guys, andito yung dalawang sites na to, no? Okay, you can check this about Altman Z score. So you have a score guys. Pag less than 1.8 ka, ibig sabihin pwede maging bankrupt ng company within 2 years. Pag between 1.8 and 3, ibig sabihin iffy yan, iffy, IFFY. Maybe or maybe not, no? Kapag greater than 3 yung Altman Z score, nasa safe zone. Okay, so here I computed for the 2019 and 2020. Okay, so ito yung mga madali naman i-compute to kasi andun naman yung mga formulas natin. Okay, so we just compute for the ratio multiplied by the factor. Okay, ito yung Z-score kasi yung formula. So the formula here is the sum product of the factors of the ratios multiplied by the factors. Ganun din to. Ratio multiplied by the factor. So for 2019, for 2020. You see that in 2019, wala naman. Although pangit yung performance siya, okay, hindi naman siya naging at risk si XYZ in becoming bankrupt. Okay, so lalo na si 2020, ang ganda ng ano niya. Okay, so you might read up on this kasi ginagamit tong Altman Z, Tapos sinasabi nila, based on research, the accuracy of this is around 80+%. No? So ibig sabihin, nakaka-predict talaga siya ng bankruptcy. Okay, so all right, so that's all guys for this module 2. Thank you so much for your patience. I'm going to, as promised, I'm going to post itong worksheet na to. Pati yung pati yung recording namin sa isang section kanina kasi nga hindi medyo late na tayo nakapagsimula because of technical problems. Okay, so again guys, hindi na ako nag-check ng attendance. I just assume that everyone is present. And if you don't, kung okay na guys, salamat. Thank you so much for your time. And if you have any questions, feel free to remain. I'll just stay here for a while if you have questions. Kung hindi naman guys, kung may klase na kayo, you can chat me, you can PM me kung may questions kayo dito sa ginawa natin yan. Okay? Thank you so much guys. Keep safe.
Salamat po.
Coverage sa Wednesday, modules 1 and 2. Okay, thank you.
Thank you po.
Thank you. Thank you.